On the 27th of June, I want to talk about the process we went through when we were designing the new Java driver for MongoDB. The existing Java driver has been around for almost as long as the actual database itself, so it needs a bit of a refresh. But the thing is, we already have lots of people using it, including people in big enterprises. And so how can you go about completely rewriting and updating an API which lots of people are using without breaking lots of systems that are currently in use, especially in large organisations where it's quite difficult to migrate from one to another. I realised what was quite interesting was the process of designing the new API, how we actually went through going from what we've got at the moment, what our requirements were, such as we had them, and turning that into a sort of solid piece of code. The fact that design as we know it has evolved over time. It used to be someone somewhere, maybe an architect, writes a document and gives it to developers and says, this is the design, you should follow the design. And then later on we have agile design where you do it iteratively and you do a little piece at a time. You do this piece of functionality, you do this task, and your design evolves over time. But that's kind of left a lot of developers in the point where they don't really know whether they should be doing diagrams and formal design or whether they should be doing iterative design, and what are the pros and cons of both. So I wanted to talk about a real use case of us on the Mongo Java driver, what we did when we were doing our design. MongoDB is a NoSQL database. It's a document database. There's lots of different types of NoSQL databases. This is a document one. It's been around for about 4 years. It's arguably one of the most popular NoSQL databases. The point about some of the NoSQL databases is to make it much easier to work with, particularly MongoDB. It's very easy to work with as a developer. It's much closer to the way that you think as a developer in terms of your objects map quite nicely to documents, and it's very quick to get up and running with it, unlike some of the very large databases. They'll learn a little bit about MongoDB and about the new Java driver. They'll see some of the new Fluent API that we want to do for the new Java driver. But if you're not really that interested in MongoDB or the Java driver, then we'll be talking about how you go through the process of design. I believe that developers are doing this all the time anyway. They're just not really thinking about it that much. They go through the process of asking themselves questions, coming up with answers, and trying to keep the code they write as close to their ideas as possible. But they're not thinking about how they do this process of design. And I want people to start talking about what they're doing and what they could be doing better. And so I hope that at the end of this session, people at the session, so developers, architects, they will have a better handle on how they can do the design of their software. If you're a developer and you have people in your organisation and you want them to understand how you work, you could bring them along to a session like this and get them to understand what you're doing when you say, it's going to take me a few days to figure out what it is I need to do and the process I'm going through as I evolve my design.